I just binge watched the first 3 episodes of Girls on the Bus, which are the first 3 episodes that are available so far. Does it still count as binge watching if there's only 3 episodes released so far and it's not the whole season yet? I loved it. I thought it was an awesome show. It's funny, it's witty, it's exactly right now. It describes our society and the political system and the state of journalism. And the characters are so fun, they're relatable. They feel like real people, real breathing people. They're not perfect. They're human beings trying to do the best they can to survive in a system and with the circumstances and conditions that they find themselves in. I kind of had my heart broken at one of the scenes where there's a character named Sadie McCarthy who leaves an indoor venue crying, mascara dripping down her face. And the people that photograph her crying, they don't really know why she's crying. They're not sure, but they think it's because her political candidate has just lost. And it turns out that that's really the reason. But they actually weaponize her tears and they combine it with her politics to attack her and to demean her tears by calling them liberal tears, and they turn her into a meme, and it's really demeaning and disrespectful. And it got me thinking that it's kind of where we are in our modern society. We seem to have a very large deficit of compassion and empathy, where we see a woman crying, leaving an indoor venue. Instead of asking her politely while keeping your distance, hey, are you okay? Is everything all right? Instead, we choose to extract and exploit that person's sadness and misery for our own gains and interests and our own enjoyment and amusement. And that really speaks to the lack of empathy, sympathy, and compassion in our society today. It reminded me of one of my favorite movies of all time called Happy Face, starring Audrey Hepburn from 1957. Audrey Hepburn, Fred Astaire. Most of the movie happens in Paris. It's a musical, and it's got a lot of great numbers. That movie really introduced most of mainstream society to a concept called empatheticalism. But that empatheticalism and empathy and compassion and sympathy has been, for various reasons, it's been removed from our society, and it's been removed to such a great extent at this point that we can see a woman crying leaving an indoor venue, and instead of asking that person if everything's okay, we choose to use it and exploit her grief for amusement and memes. So that scene kind of broke my heart. The one character that I personally found myself really relating to was Malcolm. It's because there's a scene where Malcolm talks to Sadie and he says, hey, we were supposed to move in together 3 years ago, and then you never called me back. And there's a scene in the second episode when Malcolm tells Sadie that he loves her. She has a very off reaction to that. And I think we can all relate telling a woman that we loved her, but she didn't feel the same way, so you gotta move on. It's okay. It's her right to not love you back. He kind of backpedals a little bit when he tells her that he loves her, which kind of adds to the awkwardness, which seems strange to me, because if you love a woman, why don't you just double down? If you love a woman, why would you backtrack? You could just easily double down. Just be confident. You love her, that's it. There's no real reason for him to have backpedaled like that after his confession. Malcolm loves Sadie. He loves her. Just double down. Don't backpedal, double down. In fact, it would probably have been funnier if he had said, I'm not backpedaling, I'm doubling down. I love you doubly because you're bubbly. She is clearly conflicted at hearing that. She doesn't quite feel the same way or ready to say it back yet. And another thing I found pretty interesting was that Sadie and Malcolm are living in the same hotel. So imagine you tell a woman that you love her, but she doesn't say it back. Whatever, it's her choice. But you gotta see her at breakfast. The first thing, you get dressed and changed and you come down in the morning for breakfast and you have to face her. She's right there, blam. I think I would just buckle over onto my knees and start crying or something, or quit my job. But sometimes you can't quit your job because you need your job for health insurance. Medicare for all. Green New Deal. So I think that's going to be an interesting dynamic to see how that plays out as the episodes progress. She also seems to have an interest in the Scott Foley character. He's one of the candidates running for president. Will it turn into a love triangle? Which way will Sadie choose? Really enjoyed watching the 3 episodes so far. I watched them all last night, back to back to back. Can't wait for the 4th episode to come out. The one other thing that kind of left an imprint in my mind is there's a scene of intimacy in the 2nd episode, and it's between Sadie and Malcolm. Sadie is just going at Malcolm as if Malcolm owes her money and he's just been dragging his feet and paying her back. Is that really a thing? Are people really intimate like that? With that force? What happened to gentleness and tenderness? Are those not a virtue anymore? I've really enjoyed watching the first 3 episodes so far, and I can't wait for the 4th one to come out.